So we are live. Oh my God. Can you believe it? 50 people have joined in a second.
Amazing.
You must be famous.
I think you're
Because
the
I don't
famous
think
one.
people are coming for me, they're coming for you. All right, let's start. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Today I have with me Peter Mukherjee, author of the book A Few Wise Words, and he is going to talk. We're going to talk about lots of things over here, but I'll let Peter say a few words, and then I'll start asking him questions which I have been holding back for so long.
Sure. Well, thank you very much indeed for inviting me today, Neera. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I've been on Substack now for just under a year, and it's still very much a work in progress for me. Love your Substack, by the way. I think it's really, really good and very,
Thank
very
you.
authoritative and very helpful for a lot of people, I'm sure. Happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Peter, I have lot of questions, but I'm going to start with your story because I was reading your earlier Substack post, and your story grabbed me so much. It is in your first, I think it's your first post or maybe second. It's where you have described so vividly snippet from your early life when you were a kid or school college student, and you had a passion. Do you want to tell that story yourself in your words?
Yes, sure. I mean, I think you're referring to the how I had a little bit of a tricky start in my sort of career or my education life, because when I was fairly enterprising when I was young. I was 11 or 12. I was out washing cars and doing paper rounds and doing all sorts of things because I had ambitions. And when I was traveling around, going around Hampstead, washing cars and things, and seeing all these beautiful houses, I kind of became very interested in architecture. And from the age of about around sort of 14, 15, I developed a real passion for architecture. And I started getting to know architects and people close to us where we were living as well. And so that was going to be my career. I was going to become an architect. I was told to do that. My father, when he found out that I was going to become an architect, he learned about it from my mother. He reacted. He said, "No, you can't become an architect. You have to follow the tradition and do medicine." And so I was having this bit of a quandary, and we had a real row about it, a real fight, which went on for weeks. And because I had this passion, and it's rare at an early age to have a passion like that. It went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then one day I went to school on a Monday morning. My fourth teacher said to me, "Peter, can you please go and see the headmaster? He's expecting you now. Can you please go and see him?" And I thought, what the hell have I done? What have I done now? Because I was a bit of a naughty boy and having caned a couple of times. So I gingerly went up the stairs to his office and met him. And he's a real authoritative figure. He's a very, very disciplinarian type actor. And nobody wanted to cross him. And he said, your father's been here a couple of days. I just wanted to let you know that you're no longer going to be doing architecture. You're going to have to study biology, physics, and chemistry and pursue medicine. And that was kind of you couldn't argue with him. It was difficult to argue with my father. My life was changed, basically. I was heading off now in a direction that I never really was interested in. So to cut a long story short, in the end, I did neither. And I was kind of in the wilderness for many years, just wondering what I was going to do with my life because, and this actually became one of the germs, if you like, for creating the book. Because and even today, I'm having this conversation with lots of people all the time, especially parents. If young person has a passion for something is so important, so rare.
Mhm.
Because even
Mhm.
if you have a passion for, you know, Pokemon or something like that, or playing chess, whatever it might be, it doesn't really matter if they move away from that later on. That having that passion stimulates so many important things within a young person: curiosity, dream, and energy, and everything else, which is so valuable for later on in
Mhm.
life. As you know, I write a lot about passion. And so anyway, that kind of happened. So that was the early part. And then I was in the wilderness for quite a few years until I sort of fell on my feet in sales, and then everything sort of moved forward from there. But that episode in my life has been really important to me.
Mhm.
I didn't talk to my father for about 5 or 6 years, but then we made up, and I realized that it's just his cultural thing. He meant the best for
Mhm.
what he believed in, and we became very good friends. Which I'm
Mhm.
glad we did later. But that was an interesting start in life for me.
Yeah, but you did follow your passion after all. You became a photographer of architectural buildings.
Yes, yes. In the end, it's funny actually because yes, today, I mean, I'm a professional photographer now. I mean, I've done a lot
Mhm.
of things in the meantime. I had a business as well because after I
Mhm.
found my feet, I went into sales. That's a very interesting area to learn. I learned about sort of human beings and about
Mhm.
yourself as
Mhm.
well. Learn to sell.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I just start off with, I couldn't sell a sausage to a starving man. I had a lot to learn. And but I did, and then I gravitated into marketing consultancy, which gave me a chance to do a lot of traveling. I set up my own practice. Then in the early 90s, I set up a company.
Mhm.
So I then went full cycle from, I mentioned this, that's why I sort of got into
Mhm.
photography. But I went full cycle from building a brand, building a company, building
Mhm.
a domestic franchise network into an international franchise network. We then got
Mhm.
we floated the business on AIM, started making some acquisitions, and then things started to go south. We had a few
Mhm.
legislative issues, a few issues internally with the business. In
Mhm.
2006, I then did a management buyout of the company to take it back under my control. But
Mhm.
what I didn't realize then, that was just 2 years before the banking crash in 2008. And that was just,
Okay.
the business wasn't in good shape in 2006. And then in 2008, it was just almost impossible to sustain with everything that
Mhm.
happened. So, I made the
Mhm.
very painful decision to turn the key on it.
Mhm.
My wife at the time wasn't very happy for me to go off and do something else entrepreneurial after that whole experience because I nearly lost my shirt. It was a difficult time for the family.
Mhm.
But then, because as a hobby, I've been developing photography for years and doing a lot of traveling for that. I then
Mhm.
reinvented myself at that stage as a professional photographer and started doing photography for Getty Images and iStock and the like, and building up, and then the whole portfolio of clients in architecture and interiors
Mhm.
photography. That's how, although I didn't become an architect in the end, I'm now loving taking photographs of beautiful buildings and all over the place, which is nice. So, yeah, it's kind of gone full circle.
Amazing. Amazing. So, if, is passion is something you actually can't pull out of yourself if even if you want to. It expresses it in some form or another. That's amazing. So, but tell me, how did you come up to write a book? Was it associated with your passion somehow as well, or it is something totally new?
Well, it was. I mean, there's two things really. First of all, my early experience, which I just described with my father, and not being
Mm-hmm.
able to do my passion, which is really, it's something that really, is definitely moved me when I was young, and still, I feel very strongly about now.
Mm-hmm.
It was that. Then, of course, I was, became a father, and with my photography, I mean, what we used to do, I always believe in taking the summer off and just going for long holidays with the family. It's a great time to spend time with them. So we normally go on, for a month or two somewhere. And in 2012, I was doing a photographic tour, but with the family on holiday at the same time in the Seychelles. It was a beautiful part of the world. And in the
Mm-hmm.
last 2 weeks there, we were on the island of Ladi, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. And I hired a guide to help me to find some of the more remote spots to take some photographs of, remote beaches which aren't very well known. And he took me to this really, really challenging place to get to, but it's the most astonishingly beautiful place. Just a little cove and palm trees and beautiful beach and shells, all sorts of things. It's just lovely. I was so inspired by that place. I went back there several mornings on the trot whilst the family was still asleep, like, getting up 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just went there, meditated, thought a lot about things. I was thinking about my son, and I just read a book by Sir Richard Branson, Losing My Virginity, the great book. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be amazing if I could get Sebastian in front of somebody like Sir Richard Branson, to spend an hour or two with him and learn everything that he could from him? What an amazing experience that would be. Then I thought, that's an entrepreneur, maybe a sports person, like a gold medal winning Olympic athlete, or a celebrity. Would it be, a great experience for him to learn from really successful people? And all sorts of thoughts would go through my head about, what age would it be appropriate for him to see someone? If he's 11 or 12, it would be good for his schooling years, but it might be a bit early to understand a lot of the things that he might appreciate more when he was 18. So all these sort of thoughts in my head. And it occurred to me, you know what, I could do this. Why don't I try to meet these amazing people, and learn what I can about them, ask all the questions that would be relevant for somebody from an early age, like when they're 11, 12, 13, all the way through to their careers, and for parents as well, what advice I could get to parents. That was literally, I was sitting on this rock overlooking this cove in this beautiful setting, and that was literally the moment in 2012 when the idea came to me to do this book. And I was really, really busy professionally with my photography, and I was having lunch with a business friend of mine, and this is now 2015, I think it was. So I'd let the idea sort of sit with me. And he said, look, you're busy with your photography, doing a lot of things. So, what else have you thought about doing? You must have some other ideas. And I said, well, I've had this idea for a while. And I mentioned the book idea to him. And he said, Peter, you've got to do this. You've got to do this. He introduced me to somebody, then in turn introduced me to Lord Mervyn Davies, who's become a good friend and business partner on this project. And when I remember describing the project to him, he said, I'd love to help you with this. Let's get this going. So that was when it all started in 2015. And then I started just getting around. I've got a good network, but he's got an amazing network. And I started meeting all these amazing people and putting everything together. That was the, just my experience with him, and then having a son and wanting to be the best dad that I could be for him. Those are the two things I think which kind of inspired.
Let me tell people who probably don't know about your book. So Peter ended up writing a book titled A Few Wise Words, which is a collection of 22 interviews with these people who are gold medalists, Olympic um, athletes, or business people, or leaders, or writers, authors, all walks of life. And you have put this book together, and it's just a volume one. And let me tell you, Peter, you are sitting on a gold mine. Do you know that? Because you can put out as many volumes as you like with the same idea, same concept. And probably one day you will get to Richard Branson in your book. You might interview him. But this reminds me of a story I read of, I'm just forgetting the names of the authors, so excuse me for that. But people who created the chicken soup books. You remember?
Yes,
I think Mark.
Yes, chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah, soup for the soul. It's Mark Victor Hansen and one other person, if I could remember the name.
Yeah, what's the name now? Yes, yeah.
I think Victor
Not Stephen
Frankl.
Covey. It was oh gosh.
Yeah. No, well, it will come when we are not thinking
The
about
library
it.
dance,
But
because
I read their story, and they were talking about their two friends in the in the writing journey and all this time. And they were thinking of coming up with an idea to write a series of books. They wanted to write a series. They wanted an idea, fresh idea, had no clue what it was. And then one day they came up with this idea of having collection of stories from other people. So they connected with their other writer friends, and they asked them to write a story related to their life or writing journey or whatever. And they collected that Chicken Soup for Soul. First one got out, became a mega hit. And then they came with the one after another: Chicken Soup for Teenager, Chicken Soup for Writers, Chicken Soup for this and that. There is a endless uh, s- um, chicken soups.
Yeah.
But they are not writing the books. They are actually getting other people to write the story. So the variety and freshness never goes away. And same goes for your concept. That's why I'm saying you're sitting on a gold mine, because this book can multiply into many, and it depends on how fast you can produce them. But of course, there are ways to do that.
It does take time.
Yeah, it takes time, but there's help available. When you become a mega creator or mega business owner, you can get all sort of helps. So that takes me to the point. The reason I was interviewing you is to float this idea with the people who wants to write a book, because I coach people, I help people write their authority building book. And for that, mostly people come up with an idea they want to talk about, a message they have, and they write a book about that. That book establishes them as an authority, because according to me and many other people, there's no better way to build authority than become an author. Because the word authority has derived from the word author anyway. So in your case, you have borrowed other people's knowledge, and you have compiled it in such a way and written a book which has given you authority to talk about your own wisdom, your own wise words. You can add your own wise words while talking about the book, and your whole Substack is about that. And then I hear you have a podcast as well, where you talk to people. And
yes, I've just started that. I'm just just at the beginning of that now as well. While we interview people on Substack, it's luminaries on Substack, as I call it. Yeah.
There you go. So you have you can have series of books, you can have series of podcasts, and you also told me in that you are getting into public speaking, the keynote speaking as well. So from one book, there is a whole ecosystem coming out: a newsletter, a podcast, speaking assignments, and maybe series of books as well. So amazing idea. So my next question to you is, what are your plans now with this? Are you actively pursuing it, or is it simmering on a slow burner?
Well, I have been very busy with my photographic career and also consulting and some other things that I do as well, which I'm gradually now, gradually retiring from, so that I can focus on writing. Because I mean, photography is a passion of mine now, but so is writing. So, but I realize that I think writing is the thing I really want to sort of pursue fully now. So the photography is gradually sort of being pushed back. So at the moment, it took 4 to 5 years to put together the first volume, and that's because it's with these very, very high profile people that I've been including in the book. It can be very hard to get to see them, and in some cases it took nearly a year to help them put their chapters together, because it's quite a long process. Because we dive deep in the, really got into them, in terms of their story, and to extract their wisdom and get their most valuable advice that we could share with other people. So now working on volume 2, which is because volume 1 came out in COVID, during the COVID time. Excuse me, and so presented a few challenges at that time to get the book away. But volume 2 now, because I've also, I mean, yourself, Neera, that, publishing a book is such a steep learning curve. I mean, one can do it simply. It is possible, of course. Anybody can write a book and get a Kindle, sort of, done and so on. But to really market it properly, to really do it properly. It is a big learning curve, especially getting to Amazon advertising and just dealing with Amazon itself is a massive, massive learning curve. Um, but I've learned so much from doing the first book that when we do the second book launch, excuse me, I had a bit of a cold recently.
Oh, sorry.
When we do the second launch, it's going to be a big launch, and going to do things the way I would have liked to have done with the first launch. But then do a second book, it pulls in sales from the first book as well. So the whole Substack journey now, and the whole ecosystem, as you describe it, it revolves around the book project. So obviously I'm very busy now traveling to see different people for volume 2. But the idea is to, through my Substack, to share the knowledge and the wisdom that I'm gaining from these people along the way. That's the first. Also to build an audience that I can then, introduce the second volume to, when that comes out. It'll be about another year or two's time. But then, through the public speaking, which is something which I should really have done a few years ago, but I've just been too busy. But I realise now that there's a great opportunity for me to go out and just talk about the story, about the book, about these amazing people, and their wisdom and everything that I've learned, because it's been a big learning journey from these people as well that I can share with people. And so through my intended public speaking sort of, I hope to be able to do something with that as well. And yeah, it's just pursuing the writing journey as well, which I'm enjoying. And I'm enjoying doing notes, and I haven't done a newsletter for a few weeks, which I've just been too busy, but I'm doing one at the moment.
Yeah, I think
Well, I love the whole Substack environment. It's great. And it's met a lot of friends as well.
yes. We we all go through these phases when there is too much on our plates and we can't uh, do justice to all those things. I think every one of us is going through that phase. I have been just warned by my iPhone that's only 20% of the battery left. Even though I have put it on the charger, I don't know, probably charger wasn't switched on or something. And but anyway, I think it will last us. Um, I would love if anybody has any questions, please put it in the chat. We'll try and answer those. And there's a lovely comment here by John Thompson who says, apart from all the sales and profit, the underlying wealth comes from enduring knowledge you are absorbing. Greatest fulfillment of life, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Great share.
Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you, John.
I don't think there was any questions before that. I can't see any, but I'd love to have some questions for Peter or myself, anybody. Okay, Peter, while they're typing it away, what is the if you can think about all the people you interviewed for the book, what is something you would want to share? There's plenty of things probably you'd want to, but something which pops up in your head right now. What would you like to share with people, which has stuck with you?
Well, there's quite a few things really, and one of the amazing things about dealing with so many different people and diverse backgrounds as well is also the diversity of views on things. And if you take a subject like goals, for example, I've met quite a few gold medal winning Olympic athletes, famous athletes, and they will talk about their goals being, achieving the gold medal at the Olympics, and before that, the World Championships, before that, international events, and then breaking those down into sub goals. And goals are really important to them. Whereas when you talk to an actor, say something like Joanna Lumley, who's in the book, she said, I've never had a goal. My only goal would be that whatever I'm doing today, if I'm on stage or I'm having to do a part, to do that to the very best of my ability. That was her goal. But it was so diverse from one to the other. And so the whole idea is this more smorgasbord of different views from different people. And I think from all the people that I've sort of engaged with for the book, one of the key things is this thing about passion, because the most important thing that you can do in your career and in your life is to find your passion for something. And it comes from finding something first that you really, really love doing. And the one thing that is so significant from all these amazing people that I meet, they all have had or have a passion for something. Because when you reveal your passion for something, it releases all the energy you'll need to work hard.
Mm,
We know to become successful in life, you have to work very, very hard. Well, passion gives you that fuel to work hard. People who are passionate about what they do, you can't stop them working because they just want to continue doing what they're doing because they love it so much. So I think
mm.
for everybody, and this I think is one of the biggest lessons from all these amazing people, is that if you haven't found your passion for something now yet, keep looking for that something that you can really, really love doing. If you're in a job now and you're not really happy with it, the worst thing you can do is just stick it out, hoping for the best.
Mm.
Be brave, step out of your comfort zone, pursue something else that will hopefully then deliver something that you can really, really love doing, because that's the key. Everybody that I've talked to have always talked about, revealing their passion for something. So I think that's one of the most important principles.
Well, it ties back with your original story, your first story,
Hmm.
that you being passionate about architecture and not being allowed to pursue that. So
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
It is, and I think, and especially if you're a parent, and you've got young kids, really you must do everything you can to stimulate their curiosity, pursue all sorts of different avenues so that they can find something they
Mhm,
can get excited about. Because when kids get excited about something at a young age and they can get a sense of their passion for something, it's such a great
mhm,
clue for them for the future. Because
mhm,
passion will lead to curiosity. Curiosity leads, I mean, all successful people are curious people because they want to
mm.
learn, they want to find out more, they want to excel. And I think it's being able to tap into that energy. We all have it. It's all inside us. It's dormant at the time. We just got to find a way of revealing it.
Amazing, amazing. So I haven't got any more questions here, but I would like to ask one last question from you. I try to keep my lives for 30 minutes only, so that people have other things to do. So one last question from you. Uh, what would you like to do with your Substacks, your publication? What is the aim of your publication?
Well, the aim is really to extend, if you like, the whole project that I'm working on with a few
Mhm,
eyes forward, so that I can share the knowledge and the wisdom from all these people that I've gained into the books. And it is a book series, you're right. And to be able to share that knowledge, as well as sort of giving a little bit more from me, of course, and what I've learned from my own journey, but also from these people as well.
mhm,
So it's trying to really just promote, I suppose, a few wise words as a project and the books.
mhm,
But also it's a platform for me to be able to express my writing and enjoy what I'm doing as
mhm.
well. And also to get to know some amazing people on Substack. I mean, I'm really enjoying
Yes.
that side of the
Mhm,
journey as well. Some lovely friends here. And so, yeah, it's really, I suppose, getting more exposure for what I'm doing with a few ones.
mhm,
I
mm.
wish.
Did I would say, Peter, for you, since you are trying collecting people's wise words, and there are so many uh, wise people on this platform, particularly the one you can't even dream of finding a way to approach to them. Other day, I noticed Jane Fonda joined.
Mm,
So, and there's so many authors, so many politicians even are coming on board. I think this could be a platform where you can reach people. It just takes a DM. You can
yes.
you can reach people, and I don't think any other platform allows that kind of approach, to direct approach to people. And they are all writing, and you can read their stuff and comment on them. That alerts them of you, and what you're trying to do. Apart from and the lives, I think having lives, which you probably are doing podcasts, but I'm finding doing 30-minute live actually wins you more friends than you can ever have with long conversations in a party or somewhere else. So, this is my way of meeting amazing people like yourself by just
And
having a
you
lunch
too.
with them. Yes, yes, yeah. So that is the advantage of technology and these kind of platforms we all have accessibility to. I would like to thank you very much, Peter, and all these people. There are 150 of them.
Oh,
Amazing.
wonderful. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much,
All
Neera.
these people who have joined us. So nice. And I would love to know if helped you, conversation helped you. Did you learn anything new, or did you loved Peter's story and anything? Just send some hearts flowing so that I get to know that it's good enough, and I can continue doing that. 152. I will publish this live on my as well as on Peter's Substack with some notes so that you can hear to it again and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Neera. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
See
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you for joining us.